on Sunday. Little glimmer of light. I have had a negative COVID test this morning. The guidance is still, well, the guidance is that apparently you can even go out and about if you've got COVID now. They seem to have relaxed it completely. I realised we had to get to the point of living with it, but obviously I haven't been going out and about since I knew I had it because that didn't feel like the right thing to do. Guidance from February was that if once you'd had 2 negative tests 2 days in a row, you were okay. So I had a negative this morning, can have 1 more day of being indoors, and then I'm going to do another one tomorrow, and hopefully if I get a negative then, freedom. So I think what that means is legally I could go out today, but I'm not going to. Ethically I don't feel like I want to. So I'm going to go find some breakfast in a minute, and I woke up with the most peculiar craving for I wanted a hotel continental breakfast. I woke up thinking, oh, the little pastries, the little croissants, and the toast, and the fruit, and the yogurt. I'm going to go down and have some Weetabix, I think. Here we go. 40 grams, well, 39 to be precise. 39 grams of Weetabix. Crispy minis, chocolate ones. With milk, it'll be 208 calories. Hello. It's, I don't know what time it is. Okay, Google, what time is it?
It's 12:16 p.m.
It's 12:16 p.m. Not really hungry, but I thought perhaps I would do some meal prep for later. So I'm going to cook up some turkey mince with just some flavourings and stuff. And I'm going to put some tin potatoes in the air fryer and give that a try. And something else I thought, and now I've forgotten what it was. Now, I was going to do sweet potato, but I don't want sweet potato and tin potatoes, do I? That's too much potatoing. I don't know what I'm going to do. Should we find out? Okay, I'm definitely going to do the sweet potatoes. I am going to peel them, slice them, and lay them on a tray to bake them a bit. I'm going to do the mince on the hob, and I'm going to put mushrooms, onion into that. I'm going to halve the peppers and do roasted peppers, and then I'm going to put broccoli in somewhere along the way. I'm not sure where, to be honest. So I've got my pan on the hot stove. These are the Tefal Ingenio pans, by the way. I'm just going to spray it with some low-fat cooking spray. This is calorie-free, provided you don't use it in the entire bottle. The Tefal Ingenio pans have a detachable handle, so you buy the set and you get 2 handles for the entire set, but you can clip them on and off, as you see. So you don't actually need all those handles. It makes them a lot easier to store. They stack nicely on a shelf, all in one pyramid, without having to worry about where the handles are going to go. I absolutely love these pans. I will link them below for you. Into the pan I've put my 500 gram pack of turkey mince. This came from Aldi. It was about £3.29 I think. And basically what I'm going to do is mash that down a little bit so that you've got more of the mince touching the surface of the pan to enable some browning. And then I'm going to leave it to try and get some colour on it before I do anything else to it. Back over to my chopping board now. I'm going to dice a medium onion. It has taken me a long time to learn how to dice an onion effectively without a lot of faffing, but I finally learned it from watching enough YouTube videos. So you slice down the centre of the onion from root to sprouty bit, I don't even know what that bit's called, and then you keep the root intact. This stops you from crying for some reason. If the root's there, it stops you weeping. You keep the root intact. You make 2 horizontal cuts. I'm just peeling off the papery layers. You make 2 horizontal cuts across the onion, then you make cross cuts in the opposite direction, and then you slice down from the top, and what you end up with is neat dice. Back to my pan now, and my mince has begun to brown, so I'm just going to give it a quick turn around, move it around in the pan, try and I want more colour on it, but the problem with turkey mince is it doesn't brown very nicely no matter what you do. So I'm going to season my mince with some salt. I'm going to grind some black pepper on there, and I'm going to throw in a little bit of paprika as well. Next, into the pan go the diced onion. Give that a stir around, and then I add in a shake of Worcestershire sauce. That gives me a little bit of colour, but it also gives a really good flavour as well. I didn't put very much in to start, but I do go back later on and add a bit more. back to my chopping board now. I have just taken the ends off the sweet potatoes. I decided I'd keep the skin on because they were actually really nice clean ones, and I'm going to slice them into 1/2 centimetre thick rounds, layer them on a baking tray. I want to get into one layer if possible. I don't really want too many overlapping. I'm just going to spray my tray with the calorie-free oil again, and then lay the sweet potatoes out into a layer and then spray on top of those, season them with salt and pepper, and then they're going to go into a hot oven to roast down a bit. This is a pack of small sweet peppers, and I'm halving them and removing the seeds, laying them on the roasting tray. Next I realised I had not put the mushrooms into the mince mixture. I intended to cook the mushrooms in with the mince. When I realised this, I thought, I wonder if you can roast mushrooms on a baking tray. As you'll see at the end, it was barely worth bothering. They just kind of dry out a bit. I wouldn't say they roasted in any way, shape or form. I cut my broccoli up into very small bite-sized pieces and put that on the other end of the roasting tray. When that's all done, spray it with a little bit more of the low-calorie oil and season with salt and pepper and into the oven to roast. By now my mince is cooked through, but it's still looking very pale and it doesn't even smell very interesting, so I started casting my eye around for what else I could pop in there to give it a bit more flavour. So I added some more Worcestershire sauce, some more paprika, half an oxo cube, a little bit of a squirt of tomato puree, a splash of water, and eventually some lazy garlic. Finally, I threw in the very tail end of a bottle of barbecue sauce, probably about a tablespoonful. I then decided there was no harm in getting even more veggies into this meal, so I got myself a large carrot out and I used my Tefal Fresh Express grater to grate it, and I added that into my mince mixture, mixed it through and just left that to cook down for a little while. It doesn't take very long at all. With everything finally cooked, I got my meal prep containers out. I decided I'd make this into 4 portions. So I've got 4 meal prep containers. I'm just dividing all the food out between the 4 containers. The roasted broccoli is really delicious. I sprinkled some onion granules on there and it made all the difference. Roasted mushrooms, don't think I'd bother trying that again. I got such a pitiful amount and they just were basically slightly dried up mushrooms. My sweet potato baked slices, they worked out really, really well. They taste delicious. And then finally, here comes my minced concoction, which is just turkey mince with a very few seasonings, some onion and carrots, but actually tastes really, really nice. And then a little bit of dried parsley on the top to finish, and there we are. I've got 4 meals done and dusted for the next 4 days or so. I'm knackered. I am knackered. I am going to go and chill out for a couple of hours on my bed. Not in my bed for a change. I spent the entire week in my bed in my pyjamas, so I'm just going to go lie on my bed, and that will feel like a nice change. And watch a bit of telly. And then I'm going to walk the dogs this evening. I'm still not going to go near anybody, just until I've had another negative test, just to be on the safe side, but I'm going to walk the dogs and just avoid anyone I see come in, basically. So there's my evening meal. It is one of the meals that I prepped earlier on, and it's 335 calories for the whole bowl. And there's the nose. Hello, nose. I've had a small snack accident. So these are Cadbury's caramel buttons, and I was full of good intentions that I would only eat half the packet. The other half, unfortunately, I think they must have been joined to the first half in some peculiar way. I think they must just have all been linked together, because the other half seemed to have randomly disappeared into the same fat cake hole that the first half went. The entire bag has cost me 540 calories. Luckily I did have that many calories left today because my meal prep meal was very low and breakfast was okay too, and I haven't been snacking because I've just been too busy. But even so, I would rather have not eaten the entire bag. I would rather have had some self-restraint. Okay, this is my supper tonight. I've got a bag of coconut and vanilla popcorn, 130 calories, and a small apple, about 50 calories. And I'm finishing the day with, I've forgotten how many it was. Oh, about 200 calories left, I think. And I'm done. Good night.